Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm really excited to be bringing you my Week 10 team building analysis for Season 2 Division 1 of the Pokemon Premier League. Yes indeed. Now, today, today, this week in general, my. What a fixture this is. It's, enough is enough. We lost the last 2 weeks. These are losses we could ill afford. Sitting towards the top of the table as we were, with such close competitors, we couldn't afford those losses. Really. But you know what? We're still in this. We may have lost our last 2 games, but it's time to get back on track, and never was it more important to get a win. Because this week's opponent is none other than our closest rival in terms of points, RTK and the Portland Timburrs. Now, he's been as close to us in points as he could be, really. And I was worried last week because we lost our second game on the trot. At that point, we were on equal terms with RTK in terms of points. And then we were thrown a lifeline. Alex Wanzi-Baynet came through and took the close 1-0 victory over RTK, meaning that going into Week 10, both of us are 7-2. Now this makes things very interesting indeed. Excuse me. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the team that RTK can choose from. So, he has got Sylveon, Latios, Milotic, Hitmontop, Conkeldurr, Lantern, Goodra and Excadrill. Now he entered into the final trade transfer window a couple of weeks back. Initially he had Scrafty and Rotom Heat on the team. He traded them away to Slowro for Conkeldurr and Lantern. 2 mons that A, I don't like facing, and B, I did not think I'd have to face again. But here they are, standing in our way. Now RTK has gone for quality over quantity. 8 team members, but they're all very, very good at what they do. So, it's going to be difficult to put together a team to take them on, but I think I've got the team that can beat him. So, let's take a look at the mons I'm going to be bringing. Now, the first thing to really note about the matchup we have, he's got these very strong mons, but we have one thing really on our side, and that is speed. Now, RTK has Latios sitting, of course, at base 110, that's fantastic, but his next fastest clocks in at base 88, that being Excadrill. So his team is actually fairly slow and relatively bulky. Powerful, of course, in there as well, but speed is going to be of the essence here. Because, as I say, base 110 is his fastest, base 88 is his second fastest. Now, one of those two I'm expecting to be scarfed. I don't know which one yet, but I'm sure it's going to be one of them. So, let's see who I'm bringing to try and counteract the Portland Timburrs. So, first up, we are going to have Lil Dun the Victini. Victini is back. There's been a little bit of an absence of Victini. Last week, for sure, Victini was not in the team. But we're bringing Victini back. We have got a Colbur Berry as the item, V-Crate, Bolt Strike, Energy Ball and Toxic are the moves, with a naive nature, max attack, 12 in defense, 76 in special attack, 4 in special defense and 164 in speed. Now, what these EVs allow me to do. 164 in speed, that hits me up at 155 overall. That allows me to outspeed non-scarfed forms of Excadrill. If he wants to go full power and just bring a choice banded set, then so be it. I can't outspeed the Latios, certainly not if it's scarfed, so we're not really going to be trying that. I expect to max speed Latios if anything, so we're just going to look to outspeed the Excadrill. Put the rest into special attack because this is a mixed attacking set. V-Crate, that's pretty much going to be my clickbait, It's hitting most of the things really hard, not even a Latios really wants to take it. Milotic will take it, if he brings it, but that's why we have Bolt Strike. Now, whilst it's sometimes seen as counterproductive to bring like one move for one mon. That's what I'm doing with Bolt Strike. Don't want to go special because of course Milotic can pack the Mirror Coat, and I think at base 125 special defense it'll take a special attack. So we've gone with Bolt Strike for that matter and that matter alone. Energy Ball, that's pretty much there. Similar reasoning but for Lantern this time. Combination of V-Cray and Energy Ball, certainly if it's an offensive set, that can at least come very close to Okoing. Sorry, the combination will take it out. Toxic, that's there for the things that I just can't hit. The likes of Goodra, especially if it's like an Assault Vest set, which is what I kind of expect. Physically defensive Assault Vest Goodra is a very nice stop to pretty much any form of Victini. But Toxic will really help there. It'll force him to go into a Cleric if he brings one, and he's got a couple of possibilities. Now, the item and defense. It was a bit of a toss-up because I wanted to run Charty Berry. Because I am expecting the Conkeldurr, and I know if I was running Conkeldurr for my team, I'd be running Drain Punch, Mach Punch, Poison Jab and Rock Slide. Those are the moves I'd be running. However, Knockoff is a very nice option to have on any team, and if it's going to be on anything, it's going to be on Conkeldurr. Plus, the fact that I've got those 12 EVs in defense means that I can take a Rock Slide from full health, but I can take it. So we've gone with Kolber to mitigate the knockoff if he brings that on the Conk. Yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say on Victini. Standard mixed attacker, take the knockoff, do some damage, get Toxic where I can, you know. Latios, even Sylveon, hell, if he brings a Spec State, he's unlikely to pack a Heal Bell. And of course Goodra will be able to scout to see if the Lantern has Heal Bell as well. So, that's all I want to say on Victini. Let's move on to the second member of the team, which is going to be Tyrantrum. We've been lacking a little bit of Tyrantrum. I didn't bring it to any of the last two games. It could have been in a shift in either of them. So, I'm not making the same mistake. I'm bringing Tyrantrum. Now, here's the issue with Tyrantrum. I wanted to run a setup set with Dragon Dance, because whilst Tyrantrum can run through RTK's team, the problem is it can't set up on any of his mons. They can all beat Tyrantrum if they hit it. You know, they've all got hits that can do super effective damage. So, what I've then said is gone with the Choice Scarf set. This is going to be my Scarfer. We've got Head Smash, Dragon Claw, Zen Headbutt, Earthquake, Max Attack, Max Speed, Jolly. I could have sped crept something, but I thought, you know what, just pile it all in. Why not? Yeah. That's pretty much it. Head Smash is, once again, much as V-Cray is Victini's clickbait, Head Smash is mine. It'll do massive damage to most of the things on his team. You know, even a Milotic doesn't want to take too many of them, you know. Milotic will probably be his best switch in, other than one of his fighting types, of which I'm only really expecting one, and that is Conkeldurr. And that's why we have Zen Headbutt, because it's just a nicer option to hit the likes of Conkeldurr, the hit on top if he brings it. Dragon Claw, that's just nice stab, it'll hit most things fairly hard, you know, Goodra and Latios don't want to be taking that. And Earthquake is on there to hit everything that isn't Latios, because they're all grounded, and the Excadrill, if he chooses to bring that. And if he brings an Air Balloon Excadrill, it just means he's not Scarfed, or Banded, or Life Orb, and that's a weight off my mind. So, that's the thinking behind Blue Lines, the Tyrantrum. Third member of the team is going to be Thundurus. Bohemian is returning. This time we're rocking out with a Focus Sash set, max special attack, max speed to outspeed that Latios, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, Sludge Wave and Thunder Wave with the ability Prankster. Prankster T-Wave, it's Thundurus' bread and butter, you know, it's what it does very well. If I can get it in against that Latios at full health, I can paralyze it, tank any one hit with the Focus Sash, and then start firing off Hidden Power Ices. Volt Switch is going to hit anything that isn't Lantern or Excadrill and get myself some initiative, hopefully. The Sludge Wave, that's there mainly for, of course, that Sylveon, which is just a problem that wants to be worn down. Hidden Power Ice, you know, as I said, that'll hit the Latios. It's something for the Goodra and the Excadrill. It won't be hitting them too hard, but it's something, you know. Excadrill has a very nice matchup against this Thundurus in particular, but hopefully we have things to be dealing with that Excadrill should he bring it. So, that's the thing behind Thundurus. You know, Volt Switch is a bit of a risk against Milotic because Milotic will take it. You know, any form of Milotic is going to be taking a Volt Switch unless it's like negative natured and fully offensive. And I don't have a Mirror Coat switch in. I'm a bit worried about Miracoat Milotic. It's one of the reasons I'm packing Bolt Strike on Victini over a special one. So we're just going to have to hope that he's not packing Miracoat, because if I go for Volt Switch and he lives it, I'm going to have to go into something to sack off. I can't be prioritising Scald or Ice Beam, I have to be prioritising Miracoat. So that's going to be dangerous. We're just going to have to hope that that works out for us, and ideally get enough chip damage onto the Milotic to the point where Volt Switch will be able to KO it. So that's Thundurus. We're going to now sort of move away from offense and into the realms of defense. We've gone with a 3-3 split, and the first defensive member of the team, the fourth member, is going to be Empoleon. Empoleon is here with a fully specially defensive set. Sugar Berry is the item, Torrent is the ability. We're rocking out with Scald, Ice Beam, Toxic, and Defog, as I said, fully specially defensive. Standard .jpeg Empoleon with Toxic over Rocks. I need to be defogging. I didn't want to have a move slot dedicated to defog, especially given that his only stealth rock option, his only hazard option in fact, is that Excadrill, and I'm not expecting him to be packing the stealth rocks, but it's not a risk I can take with Sash, Thundurus and Victini hanging around. I can't take the risk, I have to pack defog. Toxic, that's there mainly to be trying to deal with the Goodra, you know, and the Milotic to an extent, and it was pointed out to me that I have a lot of status on this team when there's a Conkeldurr running about. But I'm kind of okay with it, because Conkeldurr, whilst Guts is a thing, yes, we know this, sometimes status is just the best way of taking it down. Conkeldurr, and indeed its younger brother in Gerda, they're just that bulky to the point where sometimes Toxic is just the best way, and you just got to try and ride out the storm until it can get to the point where it's revengeable. So that's kind of the thinking behind Toxic there. Scald and Ice Beam, they're very standard on Empoleon, they hit his team very hard. Of course not the Lantern, but once again that's where Toxic comes in. We have the Sugar Berry on here. That's going to allow us to take an Earthquake from the Excadrill and go for the Scald. That's the main thinking behind it, because without it I can't take any form of Earthquake from Excadrill. And I just want to have that security. If it comes down to an Empoleon versus Excadrill matchup, I can at least take a hit with the Sugar, fire off a Scald and hopefully KO it. So that's the thinking behind Empoleon. And it's a running theme with these berries. You'll notice that's the second move weakening berry that we've got on the team. Let me tell you, it's not the last. Because as you can see, moving on to the fifth member of the team, that's going to be Nay the Chestnut. Chestnut is here, and this is a very physically defensive one, with a Cobra Berry. Ability is going to be Overgrow, and we've got Drain Punch, Wood Hammer, Spikes, and Spiky Shield. Max HP, 254 in defense, and 12 into speed. So this is as physically bulky as I can get, whilst mitigating for the possible speed creep by Sylveon. That's a thing that he's done. He's run speed creeping EVs on Sylveon before, I believe. So just in case he wants to try and creep the Chestnut, I've crept his potential creep. It doesn't take away too much from the defense. Drain Punch, Wood Hammer, very standard stuff. This is going to be really nice for getting spikes up. He's only got two forms of hazard removal. One of them is Excadrill, one of them is Latios. I'm certainly expecting at least one of them to be Scarfed. I don't expect them to have too much hazard removal between them, so if I can get spikes up, that's going to be really nice. Spiky Shield is not something I've run too much this season, but it's nice, you know, it's important for scouting out moves. Very nice indeed, especially if he's going to be sort of locked in on Iron Head with Excadrill. That'll be able to get some nice residual damage on it too. The Cobra Berry is also for Excadrill. I'm very well aware that Excadrill is one of those many Pokemon that does get Aerial Ace, and RTK will be very aware that Chestnut walls Excadrill unless it's got some kind of super effective coverage like, say, I don't know, Aerial Ace. So this is why we have the Cobra Berry. With the Cobra Berry, and especially with Drain Punch recovery, I can live 2 Aerial Aces, even from Adamant Life Orb, and that's all very well. I can take one with the Cobra Berry, even on a switch. If he goes for it again, I can Drain Punch back. If it turns out that I can't take one, because the only way I can't take 2, I think, with Cobra Berry, is if he's Adamant Banned. And if he's Adamant Banned, I have 3 switch-ins to an Aerial Ace. Those being Tyrantrum, Thundurus to an extent, and Empoleon. And I'll have damage calcs up, so I'll know if he's banded. So yeah, that's kind of the thinking behind Chestnut. Spikes are going to be very nice. As I say, most of his team is grounded, other than the Latios. And to be honest, unless it comes down to necessity, I ain't staying in with Chestnut against a Latios. That's not a matchup that any Chestnut is ever going to win. Unless it's a Latias, and I'm facing Kino, or rather Lars. Yeah, thought I'd throw that in there. But yeah, that's the thing behind Chestnut. Get up Spikes, wall out Excadrill to the best of its ability, cause some nice chip damage where it can, live, survive, do things, do stuff. So that is Chestnut. Let's move on to the final member of this team, and that is going to be my Mega-Audino. Shardino is back. We have, of course, the Audinite. We've gone physically defensive here. Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Power Ground, Carmine, and Wish, with 244 in HP, max defense, and 12 speed. Once again, just in case something wants to speed creep it. Now, Fairy and Ground. Very nice coverage against this team. The only thing it's actually not hitting super effectively, I'm just looking down his team. The only thing it's not hitting super effectively, Sylveon and Milotic. It was funny actually, before he got rid of Rotom Heat, Hidden Power Ground was going to be replaced with the mighty Surf. Audino gets Surf, which is unbelievable. But we've gone with Hidden Power Ground here. It's got very nice, very nice super effective coverage across his team, and nothing resists the both of them. The two things that can only be hit neutrally by this are specially offensive, and I don't believe they have phasing moves that can affect Audino. So we can set up Calm Minds on them, Wish up, set up Calm Minds, and start firing off hits. Now, of course, I am physically defensive, but I'm setting up on the special side. He has things that can hit me super effectively, most notably the Excadrill. But Ironhead, from the expected set, and I'm leaning more towards Excadrill being his Scarfer, but I'm aware it might not be. Even if it's Life Orb, I don't think he 2-hit KOs with Ironhead. So I can Calm Mind and Wish, and if he brings it in, I can hopefully set up a Wish, as he goes for one Ironhead, hit him with an HP round as he goes for a second, get my health back, and be good to go from there. And if I can get enough HP, Calm Minds up, and his Excadrill is not a thing anymore, Audino will sweep him, you know? Goodra has coverage to hit it in the form of Sludge Wave, but when I'm setting up Calm Minds, that's not a problem. Spec Sylveon can't do enough damage to break Mega-Audino, even though I'm physically defensive. Same with Latios. You know, Psyshock is doing, I think, maybe 40%, perhaps, and that's with a couple of boosts. You know, Hitmontop is not a threat to it. Conkeldurr is not too much of a threat to it, unless it's sort of Adamant Band. Poison Jab is not looking like a 2-hit KO. Lantern can't touch it. Goodra, once I've got enough Calm Minds up, is not a threat, and as I say, Excadrill can be dealt with. So Audino is kind of one of my setup aces in the hole. I wanted my main setup one to be Tyrantrum, but as I said, Tyrantrum can't set up on RTK's team. Audino can. So that's the kind of thinking there. Set up, get healthy, cause damage, and you know, of course, whilst doing that, heal up the rest of the team, which is going to be very nice. For my team, you've got the likes of Empoleon, Victini, Tyrantrum. They don't have any kind of recovery of their own. So that's going to be very nice for them as well. So that is going to be the team I'm bringing against RTK, the Portland Timburrs. This is going to be a huge, huge game, because not only do we see myself and RTK in first and second respectively on 7 and 2 taking on each other, we also see Shardy and Alex, who are third and fourth at 6 and 3, taking on each other. This is a season-defining week in a big way. If we win this, we're in a really good position. If we lose, it's up in the air, you know. Our destiny is not our own if we lose this game. We want to keep our destiny our own, we must win this game. Can we beat RDK? I think we can. You know, I think I've prepared for pretty much everything he's got. And, you know, I'm thinking it comes down to 7 out of his 8. I'm not expecting the Hitmontop to turn up. Not now that he's got Conkeldurr. He doesn't really need Hitmontop anymore. I don't expect him to bring that. Of the others, it could be any of them, but I think I'm prepared for all of them, you know? I think we are good for this game. So, that is it, you know? That's all I have to say on the team. So, this will be up Friday, I imagine. The battle, that'll be going up sometime this weekend, probably Saturday, if not Sunday. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the team we are rocking with. I'm feeling confident-ish about this. You know, I think I've prepped fairly well for his team, and hopefully we can pull a win out of the bag. So, thank you all very much for watching this team building analysis. I do hope that you've enjoyed. As I say, the battle will follow up at the weekend. But yeah, basically until then, keep supporting Parasect Germain, guys. You know we're going for the top. We need to win this. That's non-negotiable. We need to win. And we will. So, I suppose to find out if we do, you'll have to wait until the battle has happened. That'll be going up, as I say, this weekend, so look forward to that. But I've rambled on for long enough, so I'm going to get out of here. My final thank you to you all for watching. And I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.